We all love to snack. Having non-fried, crispy snacking options would be great. Today on Glutensure, we are making two snacking options. One, the sweet variety called Glutensure, made with jaggery. The other one, which is a salty option called namakpare, made with fenugreek leaves. Let's make these two snacks together on Glutensure. Please check out the recipe link in the description below for all the measurements. So for namakpare, I'm using a third cup of each flour, and for the spices, I'm just using dried fenugreek leaves, red chili powder and salt. In a large mixing bowl, I start off by sieving together sorghum flour, rice flour, chickpea flour, and baking soda. I'm adding in the salt as well. Now after sieving, I discard the large pieces and give everything a good mix. I'm adding in a pinch of hing or asafoetida powder. You can skip it if you're not a big fan. And then red chili powder and dried fenugreek leaves as well. I'm giving everything a good mix, and now I'm ready to add oil. Now I'm mixing the oil well into the flour. This is very important as this makes our namakpare very crunchy. This will take about 2 to 3 minutes. My mixture looks ready to add water. I'm adding a third cup of hot water and mixing it well with a spoon. I keep pressing the mixture down with the spoon. The dough mixture is now cooling. So after about a minute, the dough is cool enough for me to use my hands. And the dough comes together really nicely into a soft ball. I'm adding about 2 teaspoons of oil to coat the dough. The oil keeps the dough from becoming sticky and it helps me with the rolling process. At this stage, I'm ready to start rolling out the dough. Taking a small ball of dough, I'm flattening it and covering it with plastic wrap to make a small rectangle. Now with the rolling pin, I'm pushing the dough down so that it fits into the plastic wrap ends. Now after this, I'm folding it over and repeating the process. This process gives a nice volume to the namakpare. And now with a pizza cutter, I'm ready to start cutting the namakpare into rectangular pieces. You can also use any other shape of your choice. And I continue doing this process for the entire dough. I'm transferring the cut pieces onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper. My namakpare are now ready to be baked. I'm going to bake them in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 14 minutes. Now I can smell the namakpare and it's time for me to flip them. So just using a spatula, I'm flipping them. After this, I'm going to bake them for another 3 to 4 minutes. Now my namakpare are nicely done and I'll let them cool completely. As the namakpare are cooling down, I'll get started with the gurpare. For gurpare also, I'm using the same flour ratio. I'm using jaggery cubes, but you can also use ground jaggery if you have it available. In a mixing bowl, I'm sieving together rice flour, chickpea flour, sorghum flour, and baking powder. Now let's get the jaggery ready. So I'm placing a pan on low-medium heat and I'm adding 1 tablespoon of water and the jaggery cubes. After about 30 seconds, the jaggery started softening and I'm pressing it down with a spoon. In about 2 to 3 minutes, the jaggery melts nicely and then I'm turning off the heat and let it rest. So back to the mixing bowl. Now I'm adding in half teaspoon of ground cardamom and giving it a nice mix. Now I'm adding in melted ghee into the mixture and blending it well. Again, this step is very important. Just make sure that the ghee is blended really nicely with the flour mixture. Now I am ready to add the melted jaggery. I'm mixing in the jaggery quickly as it starts to harden as the jaggery cools down. I'm adding in about 1 to 2 tablespoons of hot water. Continue mixing with a spoon. As the dough cools down, I'm using my hand to bring it all together. I'm also using the remaining ghee that I had saved. Now the dough is nice and soft and it's ready to start rolling. I take a little piece of the dough ball and I completely cover it with plastic wrap. Now similar to the namakpare, I will continue rolling it out and then fold it over to get the nice volume. I fold over the plastic wrap. For my gulpare, using the pizza cutter, I am going to cut them into a diamond shape just for some fun, but you can use rectangular pieces instead. Now I'm transferring all the pieces onto the baking tray lined with parchment paper, and similar to the namakpare, I'll be baking them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 14 to 15 minutes. Now I'm ready to flip them using a spatula, and after I've flipped them, I'll bake them for about 4 to 5 more minutes. Turning off the oven, and look at how beautifully golden our gulpare have turned out. In just a few minutes, we've made crispy and healthy namakpare and gulpare together. Please share this recipe with your friends and family, and please support me by subscribing. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. We just made gulpare and namakpare together. I can't wait to hear how your gulpare and namakpare turned out. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.